Hello and welcome to Spoil Your Appetite. I'm Tristan. Oh my god, it has been way too long, 3 years to be precise, since I've done one of these. Welcome back. This is kind of like a reboot, not a reboot, but a relaunch of sorts. And if you're a long-time listener, or just, saw that, your feed has popped in a new episode of Spoil Your Appetite, well, I must say, welcome back. 3 years. 3 years I have been gone. 3 years I have just neglected my favorite hobby of mine for the longest time because, being an adult, that's just what it is. It is what it is, unfortunately. But I'm back. Hopefully, I can't guarantee any promises. And, who knows where this will take me. Who knows if I'll grow out of this. But in the meantime, welcome to the relaunch of my podcast again. I know I've done this so many times before where there's just been empty spaces of not doing this for the longest time. But I'm hoping to change that. I'm really hoping to, if I can't do this once a week, I at least try to make one or two within the month or so that I'm not neglecting this, so I can get my thoughts out because, I got some stuff to say, and like I said, I like doing this as a hobby. I don't, for now, I don't do this as like, trying to make something. I just like to get my voice out there because everybody does it, and so far it's only audio. Who knows if I'll ever do it, but in any event, for, if you're new to the show, welcome. All I can really describe about this podcast is, I'm a nerd. I talk about nerd shit. I talk about whatever's on my mind. Mainly it's going to be about movies and maybe TV shows. It's a funny thing about TV shows is that I don't really watch TV shows because in this day and age with streaming shows, you have to wait 2 to 3 years to get another season of a show that you like. So I just kind of avoid TV shows as a whole at this point, but I'm a movie guy first and foremost. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I like to talk about comics, whatever interests me within my nerddom that I love so much. And yeah, but for long-time listeners, for those that, people that I may know that listen to this, probably know what's up, but others who don't, like I said, adult things happen, and I just get so sidetracked by things, I got a job, got a 9 to 5, can't really do this all the time, and I've neglected, but luckily for me, I was able to afford a new computer, because my last one has been going on for 10 years that I've had that computer, and since, speaking of 10 years, this podcast has been I've had this podcast for 10 years now. Granted, I haven't been consistent on it, and I don't even think I've hit the 100 episode mark. Could be wrong. I don't really number these, but still. In any event, man, there's just been so much to talk about. I mean, last time I did this, as you can see, I did my top 5 favorite movies of 2023. So I didn't get the chance to do my top 10 of 2024. Probably, but it sucks. 2024 was a good year, but don't worry. Sometime in the next month, I'll be giving my top 10. I still gotta see certain movies. So, but yeah, man, so far, life's been pretty. Life is life, man. I mean, what can I say? Life's been going on, honestly, as you do when you're an adult. You just, gotta make that money, make that grind, pay the bills, do what you can. And in the meantime, finding time to enjoy yourself. I mean, that's what I try to do in this life. It seems that as I'm getting older, I start to find things that I'm just not really into as much anymore. Or at least I still ignore the things that I don't care about that the world wants to scream about. Meanwhile, I'm over here just trying to, keep myself entertained, because the world is definitely a dark place, and I guess that's why I find comfort in entertainment stuff. Whether it's reading comics or watching movies, whatever, just hanging out with my friends or my girlfriend, just hanging out, doing what I can. I mean, I'm a very simple person. I got simple thoughts. That's all I can really say, man. But anyways, we got a small show today. Small episode, not going to take up your whole time, because I'm sure a lot of you will probably be listening to this as you're doing whatever you do in your great life. But we got a small show today. I didn't really come up with a lot of things. I just really wanted to touch on the most recent things that I think really caught me this week, at least, including a review. I mean, I literally just finished watching a thing. I will definitely talk more about that. But yeah, man, man, where to begin? I don't know. I'm just stalling right now. I mean, literally, I have my notes here, and I only have 4 things, which is right now I'm just catching up on things. So, like I said, when it comes to this podcast, I really want to try this to make it at least once a month, if not, twice or 3 times a month. I don't know. We'll see. It all depends on the news that I just want to talk about. But before, I really dive into this episode, I just want to say, if you want to follow me, you can follow me at threads at Alexander_Thorpe. Thorpe without an E. I know some people love to spell Thorpe with an E for some reason, but it's just, there's no E. It's just T. It's Thor with a P. That's all you gotta know. And as long as you can spell Alexander, you should be able to find me. You'll see me. So yeah, there's that. For long-time listeners, I mean, I don't even know if anybody has come from Twitter, which, aka X, however the fuck you want to call it. I'm never going to call it X, because it's been Twitter for 10 plus years, and I'm still going to call it that. Yeah, I haven't really touched Twitter for the longest time. I just think after using it I stopped using it last year altogether. And because I've had, and it really sucked, because I believe I've had that account since 2010. God, since I was like 14 or something. And it was all because of the fact that I signed up, got into Twitter because I wanted to make comments about a Paul McCartney concert that I watched on live on YouTube, and it was pretty interesting. So that's how I got my start. Didn't really start using it till like 3 years later, really getting into it. And then, as life happens, there's just some things I just wasn't in an agreement with, who owns Twitter now. But really, I think it mostly just came from the fact that my feed for the recommending like Twitter tweets that I would see or whatever, it was shit. It was not good. It was not something that I could reach out to, like, strangers, of course, online and have a discussion with them with the fandom that we're both in. It was just a lot of toxicity. I just didn't need that. I didn't need that in my life. And, with the recent purchase of said billionaire grabbing Twitter, I was just like, I hate to let it go. And breaking cycles from social media is really tough. It's really tough, especially when you're someone like me who very much posts but doesn't really engage a lot on social media. Like, I'll see a lot of posts and I'll just like and all that stuff, but I never really engaged as much, because the more I saw on my feed, the more I was like, my God, it was not good. And, I've kind of come to the conclusion that, yeah, maybe I really need to break the cycle of trying to be on social media as much. I mean, hey, I did it with Facebook. I mean, with Facebook, I'll click on it, and then I'll just exit the website or whatever. I mean, granted, I finally managed to uninstall it on my phone, because with my previous phone, I can never uninstall Facebook for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if that was just a thing that they found a way that you can't uninstall it from said phone. But with my new phone, I was able to uninstall it. And even then, I was able to ignore Facebook because I don't know. I do not like the design of it, honestly, of how the feed looks or whatever. I was not a fan of the design feed. Just everything's just blown up, and I'm just like, I don't really care. So the less social media I use, the better. So, but right now I'm on Threads, and all I gotta say is I'm happy with it. I mean, sure, I could use less of it, honestly, but I really, really like Threads, because my feed is nothing but positivity. And luckily, anytime I see stupid posts, I just ignore it, or I just hit the option of not interested, and it clears up my feed. And man, it just feels nice. And I also notice, and I know this is just it's fairly new. I think Threads came out, late 2023 or something like that, or 2024. I can't remember. But all I know is that it's still fresh. I get plenty of engagements. I mean, my God, some of the posts that I've made, for whether people agreed with me or not, it was just great. It was great. And it's like, I still do run into, because it's the internet, I still run into people who are just like definitely not worth mentioning at all, not even worth engaging at all, because it's just like, you say a stupid thing that I just can't really reply to. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna ignore it, because at the end of the day, why waste your time on stupid people? People who are just looking to be angry and really come off as people who don't really think before they speak, or just have already pre-notions of their opinion in their mind and just want to say some random stupid bullshit to you that you're just like, I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, that's literally what my feed is. Every time I come across a comment, I'm just like, I don't even know how to respond to this, honestly. So I just don't deal with it. And I think for me, it's just like, I don't waste my breath on people like that at all. I mean, it's beneath me. It's like, it's not even worth my time, not even worth my breath or whatever. But yeah, man, if you want to follow me, all I'm trying to get at is, if you just want to follow me, you can follow me on Threads at Alexander_Thorpe. I mean, I post here and there. I mean, it's just, just come and give me a follow. It's, my profile is very much public, so you can follow me and whatnot. Who knows if I'll come up with, as far as Instagram goes, who knows if I'll create another page for, because I would like to have I like to have my current Instagram as private. So, but I might just create a public account for anyone that wants to follow and just wants to see whatever I post on there. I mean, I post plenty of reels and whatnot, but then again, I've been doing so well, I just check it on my Instagram at night only, because, like I said, the less social media, the better. I feel like there's so much stuff out there that I want to consume. I consume a lot of movies because, I have a subscription to Regal Unlimited, so I'm basically always watching a movie when I'm off from work. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to get into. And lately I've been I just been consuming, man. Other than TV shows, I mean, I literally just signed up Netflix last month so that I can see said movie that I'm gonna talk about later today. But I've been catching up on shows that I haven't seen in a while. I mean, it's so crazy because I don't know if I talked about it, but Stranger Things was like the first thing that I watched on Netflix, the new season. I've seen the previous seasons, but I signed up, and the first thing I watched is the first 4 episodes. And I'll just say real quick, man, that was very, very, very interesting. I would just give it a thumbs up for it because I'm just very curious about it. Because for me, my thoughts have always been, I love the first season like anybody else. And then the second season was solid. The third season had me really just didn't really do anything for me. Like, season 3 did not do anything for me. But, with TV shows, at the end of the day, for me at least, when it comes to TV shows, it's all about character. Character. I'm always about, am I in love with these characters? Do I want to come back and see what they're going to do the next? I don't really care about the overall story. I'm just there for characters. Because to me, when I watch a movie or a show, most of the time I gravitate towards characters and who your people are. Who are we meeting in these stories? Who are they about? What do they want? What do they do? And yeah, Stranger Things was just one of those things where, season 3, I wasn't crazy about, except for that first season. I thought that was really fucking good. But I remember just being with Stranger Things season 3 and just feeling like, I don't know if I want to come back to Stranger Things 4. And then because Stranger Things 4 came out, everybody was hyping it up and all this stuff. And I saw a lot of memes before I actually sat down and watched it all, because I was not going to be invested to, watching it. What was it, the first part and the second part that they did, and then the last episode that they did. I just wanted to binge it all, and I gotta say, my God, without that season, I don't think I would be watching the final season, honestly, because, my God, it really set up the beginning of the end, and now here we are at the end. I mean, it's kind of stupid how it's kind of almost taken 10 years just to finish this one show, And that's another topic for another time, about streaming shows taking forever just to create one show, another season of 80 episodes or 10. It's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous. But in any event, yeah, Stranger Things season 5 so far, the first 4, pretty damn good. But yeah, man, it's just, I've been consuming a lot. I'm also listening to, on Audible, a friend of mine got me to finally start listening to Project Hail Mary, which is getting a movie adaptation coming out within next year, which, when I first saw that trailer, I was like, alright, you give me space, and I'm going to be happy. Like, I don't care what it is, put me in space, and I'll be fine. Because lately, as I've come to my adult favorite things or whatever, I've noticed that, I don't know how it started or whatever, but like, I mean, I just have a fond for anything space related. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I don't care what it is. If it's about space, I'm there. Like, lately, over the past couple of years, I've had this fond for space for some reason, and I don't know. I can't wait for Project Hail Mary. But I'm reading the book, and I know I shouldn't be reading the book. I've always had a thing for myself where, if a book or a comic that I haven't read or whatever, and it's getting an adaptation, I don't want to read it before said adaptation comes out, because I want to judge the movie or show based on its own merits and not come in it with my fairly recent pre-notions of finishing said book. I don't want to go from the book and then watch the movie or show, because, I don't want to have my pre-notions like I don't want to judge it based on what they didn't do from the book or whatever, because weirdly enough, I've only done it once, and that was with Alan Moore's Watchmen, and I read the book, and it's so weird that I'm pretty sure I've said this before on the podcast, but I read the book, Watchmen, and then watched the movie, and I was like, I really don't like how this is just a copy and paste. And maybe the reason I felt that way is because I've seen so many comic books, but I don't think I've ever been through something like that before, where I read the book and then went straight into the movie. And I didn't like it because it was a copy and paste. I mean, they did some changes, but overall, I just was like, there are things to like about that movie, but then it's just like, I just feel like it feels so weird that it's more of a translation than an adaptation. So, but yeah, but in any event, Project Hail Mary, I mean, I'm listening to it, and man, I'm fairly curious to finish this, because man, so far it's a lot of fun, and maybe this will get me to start, doing more Audible books and just really listening and just like experiencing it. So there's that, and yeah, and that's really all I can really think about. I mean, I could talk about, I will talk about getting this new PC. Man, like I said, my old computer, 10 years old, haven't really used it ever since I moved into the house where I'm currently at, and I never turned it on. I've been in this house for 3 years now, and through that whole time, I'm sorry, I did turn it on. How long have we been in this house? Now I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, it's been 2-3 years long now. I'm confused. I don't even know when I did this. But anyways, all that to say is I haven't turned on my 10-year-old computer for the longest time, and it was mainly because it was getting older, stuff was slowing down, and yeah, I just felt like I didn't need to turn it on anymore. So I just, I would just stream things on my Samsung TV, and then eventually got a Chromecast, and then I got my PlayStation 5, and yeah, my computer so far, I'm surprised it hasn't collected much dust in the inside, so that's good. I still don't know what the hell to do with it, honestly. I can't even remember what store takes computer parts or whatever, because I just don't want to give it to Goodwill. Plus, probably have to take some of the stuff off of the hardware, like the storage stuff, off of it, because there's a lot of stuff on there that probably could be deleted or whatever, or just, uninstalled. But yeah, it's super weird. Getting a new computer. And it's even more weird considering I bought this computer, whereas with my 10-year-old computer was built by my dad, and that computer was literally built for one game, and that was Batman Arkham City. And my God, the launch day for Batman Arkham City for PC players was just not it at all, which really sucked. But for me, as a Batman fan, I did not fucking care. I don't care how many times the frame rate dropped. I still played that shit to the very end because, dude, it had been, 4 fucking years from Arkham City to Arkham Knight. Dude, I was ready to take it all in. So I ran that computer as long as I could, and then, it's so weird because 10 years old, pretty good run. Granted, I only ran it for 7 years or something like that. So, yeah. But, yeah, and it just feels nice to be on a computer now, to actually have a computer that isn't my phone or tablet. And just setting everything up, downloading everything, it was just very fun to get back into my Steam account and just looking at all the games that I have in my library, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Some of them aren't even active anymore because the servers are just not there anymore. Like certain multiplayer games I have are just like, yeah, the servers aren't up anymore. Like I don't know why I had certain games, but whatever. But yeah, as far as games go, what I like to call them, I play games. I would say I'm an average gamer. What I've been playing recently, I mean, it's really, I love my brain dead games, which are essentially just a game I can just get in and out, and they're multiplayer games. You know, I like to go into Fortnite, you know, I go into Fortnite, play my challenges or whatever, and get the skins that I want, or whatever for the Battle Pass. But, you know, I have missed out on certain seasons on Fortnite because, yeah, it really depends on who you got in the Battle Pass for me. Other times, I'll skip it. But yeah, the Fortnite grind is, like, very surreal, and it's just, I mean, if you do the 3 dailies every day or whatever, you can get up to 100 real quick and just collect everything you need. But then, of course, my favorite new game, and it just celebrated its 1-year anniversary, Marvel Rivals. I mean, my God, as someone who thankfully has played Overwatch, I know we don't like to talk about Overwatch, but as far as the gaming community goes, at least, man, I don't think I would fuck with Marvel Rivals if I didn't have that experience with Overwatch. But man, it's just so fun just playing that and just having mains. And sure, you got some people in there who clearly don't know what they're doing. I mean, not everybody's perfect when it comes to playing games, but man, some people I play with on that fucking game are just insufferable. Like, I just can't. Like, if you're a support, why are you not in the back? So, but yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm really looking forward to getting a day to spend on playing some Team Fortress 2 and playing some Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, man, that would be... I still haven't played those games yet. I mean, I have them installed, but yeah, it's going to be nice to play those games. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that still plays them. I'm just hoping there's enough for me to get into a game and play with others, because man, the nostalgia I feel for playing those kinds of games with Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress 2, I would just play those games and listen to podcasts and just play them and play them and play them and just never get tired. And it really goes to show that, yeah, I'm pretty damn good when it comes to trackball and keyboard. Because I was playing some Marvel Rivals, and my God, my accuracy was just stupidly good. I don't know what it was, but like I'm good with controller too. I'm pretty good with controller too, but like keyboard and mouse, my God, I don't know what I was on or whatever. Like, it's just it's so weird. It's really so weird to, what's it called? I think maybe it's because of the fact that, you know, the keyboard and mouse rest on a solid surface, whereas with a controller, you're just kind of like, you can move anywhere you want. You have the free mobility to like move around as you're playing the game or whatever in your hand. And I wonder if that's why with keyboard and mouse, it's more easier for me, because it's like, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of sensitivity I have on it. With the mouse, at least, like, it doesn't matter what sensitivity I have, I can still, you know, I have a pretty solid aim, so that's cool. But yeah, man, I mean, what else? I told you what I've been reading, told you about my PC, and, you know, plugged in my socials. What else? Man, not a whole lot of else coming up other than Christmas, which, you know, I got my lady her gifts. I wrapped them all up. I'm not going to say what they are because I'm pretty sure she'll be listening to this. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, so far, life has been pretty solid. You know, it's not great. It's not terrible. Pretty damn solid. I mean, it feels so good, and the fact that I'm now at the 30-minute mark just kind of surprises me. I mean, it's really all I got. I mean, that's my first topic. Yeah, I literally have a notepad on the side. That I just wrote out notes. But in any event, let's really get into the episode, shall we? Let's start off with the newly released Supergirl trailer. Millie Alcock as Supergirl. I mean, so I think it's pretty unfair to say this, but man, of all the movies, of all the big budget movies that I know that are coming out, like the big IP movies that I know that are coming out, or just the comic book movies I know that are coming out in general, yeah, man, Supergirl is the one that I'm looking forward to, because unfairly, I think, at least when I say it's unfair to say that this is my most anticipated of those comic book movies that are coming out, it's just, I know I've read that Woman of Tomorrow comic, Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow. I mean, first of all, like, it's a great story, and it's a great character, like, bond between these two characters, between Supergirl and this character named Ruthie, that they're going on this journey to find a guy or whatever, but it's really more about the bond and stuff like that. And I know the comic. I love the comic. And the moment James Gunn said that, you know, this was one of the movies that was going to get made or whatever, and it's going to be based off of Tom King's run, I was just like, I do not care. I don't care how this movie turns out. All I know is that announcement made me so fucking happy, because I was like, of course you do this as a movie with Supergirl. Like, and it's kind of crazy because it's been over 40 years plus since we got a Supergirl movie. Standalone movie, sorry, because I know we've had other Supergirl in live action, but as far as like a Supergirl movie, it's like, wow, it's been 40 years plus since we had a Supergirl movie. I mean, that's weird to think about. But yeah, man, I was excited since day one since they announced that, and like I said, unfairly, it's probably my most anticipated movie of next year just because I'm familiar with the source material. But in any event, what did I think about the trailer? It's a teaser, so I wasn't expecting plot points or anything like that. Just show me images. That's what I expect from teasers. Just show me cool shots and shit like that. Like, give me a feel of the movie. And yep, it is pretty much what I thought the vibe was gonna be. I mean, it seems very faithful to Supergirl's character that's based on that comic. It feels very much like there's something about her that she's an alcoholic of sorts, but why is she an alcoholic? Well, we saw her city looks like it's about to get destroyed because, you know, she's from Krypton, and knowing, you know, she wasn't a baby, you know. She wasn't a baby. We saw shots of her from what it looks like. She's on her home planet watching everything blow up. And I gotta say, man, knowing what I know from the comic, I always assumed that was going to be in this movie, because how could you not? That was part of her character, of showing you why she is the way she is in that comic, of course. And so of course they were going to show that in this movie, but I wasn't expecting to see it in this first teaser trailer, to be honest. I really wasn't. That was probably the most shocking thing that I was just like taken away. I was like, oh shit, they're already, you know, giving you an idea of like, oh, she wasn't some like baby when her planet blew up. No, she was alive for that. So I was so like taken aback by that. I was really just like, my God, it was crazy. But yeah, I love the vibe of it. I will say I have one minor nitpick, and it's really just a character design choice, and that's Krim of the Yellow Hills. we got a shot of Krim of the Yellow Hills, and I was like, he looks like a reject Ravager from Guardians of the Galaxy, but but it again, it's a nitpick. I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I'm not gonna bag it as much because at the end of the day, apparently they even said somewhere, I don't know, folks said that James Gunn and I guess Craig Gillespie, I don't know if that's how I'm pronouncing his last name, the director of this movie, said that they were going to change the design of Krim, which I don't know how true that was, but I just wasn't feeling it at all. But at the end of the day, like I always say, it doesn't matter what the character design looks like, as long as, for me it's all about character. As long as you can capture who that character is, as long as you can convince me it's that same character I know from said source material, because like with everything, like with all these characters in comics, there's many different artists, writers that take different, that have their own take on said character, and all I gotta say is, as long as I can feel it's that character that I know, I don't really have a problem with it. Plus, knowing what I know, what I remember from the comic at least, it's like, okay, Krim is not in it a whole lot. It's really, the story is really, this story lives and breathes between Supergirl and Ruthie. It's about that bond between them. And so yeah, because Krim is, from what I remember, he's in the beginning issues, and then he's at the very end of the story. How it's going to show in the movie, I have no idea, but we shall see. But yeah, man, I think Millie Alcock looks great. I really dug her introduction in the Superman movie, which that will be a movie I will talk about later on in the next episode, whenever I do my top 10. Or will it be part of my top 10 worst movies of the year? Who knows? Stick around for that episode. But anyways, I really liked her introduction in Superman. It was just quick, breathe, and it's so funny because it's like, yeah, I like the fact that scene could have been a post-credit scene, but I like that some people put it like, yeah, that was essentially your post-credit scene. That was your tease of the next episode of this DC Cinematic Universe, the next movie. And I thought that was kind of smart the way people put that together, because I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool, because this would have been a post-credit scene, but I'm glad it wasn't. Kind of flowed with the movie. But yeah, she looks great. Love the outfit. Really love, it's just that there's so many things to like about this trailer, I feel. I mean, you get the look of it. I do understand, though. I do understand why some who aren't, I would say, the people that compare this trailer to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, who I guess want to throw that as an insult, those people are kind of whatever. But I understand the comparison because, yeah, aesthetic-wise, it kind of does. It kind of does look like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but at the same time, to me, that's not an insult. To me, it's like, well, I like those movies, so I don't really see the issue with it. For me, I see the comparison, but I don't really have an issue with it. And so the fact that you have some people that want to throw insults at it like that, it's just weird criticism like that, but okay. I mean, because unless you hated the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, then okay. I mean, that's you. Film is subjective, but that's you. But to me, it's I don't really see that as a knock. I think that's just kind of cool or whatever. Plus, it's given people's the average person that goes to see those movies, those Guardians of the Galaxy movies, most people love Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So them seeing this, I don't think it's gonna sway them away from it or anything by any means. But yeah, I really dug it. I really dug it a lot. And then, of course, I gotta talk about it. I think the one thing that still amuses me to this day, thinking about it, is the 1 second quick shot of Jason Momoa as Lobo. I love how somebody that was making that trailer was like, you know what? Here's a snippet of Lobo. And Lobo is not in the comic. And ever since I heard that Jason Momoa as Lobo was going to be in this movie, my theory of where he's going to be seems to be confirmed to me, at least. I mean, it's 1 second, but like I'm fairly confident I know where he's going to pop up. And it's only going to be one scene, and that's totally okay with me. That is totally fine with me. But yeah, it's just kind of amusing to me that it's just like, yeah, you get this 1 second of Jason Momoa as Lobo. Pretty good. What else? I also really liked how this trailer ended. I mean, the last bit of dialogue at the very end when Ruthie asks Supergirl. Ruthie is the little girl that, you know, is the little girl that's with Supergirl. And she goes, "What's Superman like?" And Supergirl goes, "He sees the truth in everyone." No, wait, what is it? "He sees the good in everyone, and I see the truth." And it's like, that is a good line to end the trailer with, because it really gives you this perspective of what makes her different from Superman. And yeah, Superman likes to see the good in everybody, and she just sees the truth in all beings. You know, if you're good, you're good. And then if you're bad, but are still good, maybe she might have some hope in you. Then there's some good people who do bad intentions, and like, she can see between the lines, you know. She doesn't really... It really kind of strikes me as like she can see through it all. Like, she doesn't... Like, she just knows. She just knows who you are based on your actions and all this stuff. And man, I can't wait. I really can't wait for this movie, honestly. I am crossing my fingers it's good. And so, at the same time, you know, like with all these other movies, anything that's adapted, I always got to go in, alright, judge it on its own merits, see how it feels, don't compare it to the comic, because it's so unfair to compare it to its source material. It just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't feel right. Like, you're going from one medium to the next medium, and I think that's how I judge everything. It's like, okay, the comic is the comic, the movie is the movie. Like, there needs to be some sort of differentiate and whatnot, because at the end of the day, you can't do everything from the comics. I mean, with James Gunn, it seems like you can do anything. I still can't get over the fact that motherfucker put Starro the Conqueror in a fucking DC movie. Still blows my mind to this day. But yeah, man, the Supergirl trailer was really, really solid. I really liked it. I mean, there was plenty that I just recognized, but that's what really stood out to me. And man, I look forward to this. I really do. I mean, man, we're in a good spot. We are in a good spot when it comes to DC, I think. And as someone who loves Man of Steel, and it's still my favorite DC movie, I gotta admit, it's so nice to see, at least from my end, at least. It seems like the DC fandom is like in a good spot. It seems like, yeah, people are, you know, at least on my end, like I said, at least on my end, DC fans are really, really liking this new DC universe. I mean, I had my issues with the DCEU, and it was more of Zack Snyder's control of it, like his creative decisions and stuff like that. Because again, for anybody that doesn't know, like I said, Man of Steel is still my favorite DC movie of all time. And look, I'm not going to fight anybody that doesn't love it. I totally understand. I totally get it. But for me, like, even now, I still love that movie to death. But I understand why people don't like it. And you know what? That's fine, man. Like, I have friends who don't like Man of Steel, and who am I to say you're wrong? Because at the end of the day, like I said, movies to me are just subjective. Like, there is nothing you can measure the quality of a movie because it's all opinion based. But yeah, I mean, but everything after, with BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was just a mixed bag for me. I think when I look at the DCEU, even when Zack Snyder left, it was just a mixed bag. Like, there was just things that I liked. I could cherry pick things that I liked from each movie, but then as a whole, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just left with this mixed feeling of like, wow, this is like, yeah, it makes sense because WB had a management switch up or whatever. You had executives that were just like, okay, we need to pivot, like hugely pivot from this dark tone we were doing with Zack Snyder. But and I think what really settled it for me as far as the DCEU being a mixed bag was just seeing the mixed reaction among my DC fan peers. Like, it was just like, and then, coming out with something like Superman, I mean, it was so nice, like, seeing a lot of people really like Superman. James Gunn's Superman, that is. I mean, I'll talk about it because it is part of my top 10 list of sorts. So, but yeah, it was just so nice seeing that, okay, it seems like with this reboot, we're really starting to heal. And even before Superman, there was still some good stuff, I thought. I mean, for example, Blue Beetle. I thought Blue Beetle was amazing. I thought it was really good. And I, given my long-term friendship friend, who I've been friends with, my childhood friend, I mean, he's Mexican. And so just watching Blue Beetle, I was just like, yeah, I know what this is like. I know what it's like to be around, a family of Mexican Americans. I was just like really feeling it with Blue Beetle. And then I like the Shazam movies. I do. I mean, I know some people don't, but I do. I will say I did not fuck with Black Adam at all. I mean, and then The Flash was The Flash, and then Birds of Prey, whatever. The Joker movies, I really like that first one because, like I said previously on previous episodes, was really shocked. Like, I was really thought I was gonna hate it because, again, I was coming at it pre-notions of like, Joker doesn't have an origin story. Why are you doing an origin story on Joker? And then had to readjust myself to be like, okay, this is an Elseworld thing. It's an Elseworld thing. Like all these movies, they're all Elseworld DC movies, so whatever. But yeah, James Gunn kicking off this new DCU, it's great. I mean, it's so nice to see everybody just being like coming together with it, and we're off to a good start, I would say, as far as like DC fandom is like really like seems like we were coming together. But yeah, that's also what I want to talk about. Since I'm already on it, why don't I just talk about my thoughts on the new DCU as a whole? I mean, with everything that we are getting next year, so we got the Supergirl. I already talked about how much I like that. Then we're getting the HBO Lanterns show starring our Hal Jordan Green Lantern and our Jon Stewart Green Lantern. And we just got a video, like a snippet of the show, and granted it was like 10 seconds or 5 seconds. I don't even know how long. It was short, but from what I saw, I was like, this is interesting to me. But I think what's more interesting was reading that synopsis of what this Lantern show is seemingly going to be about, at least like what our Hal Jordan and our Jon Stewart are going through. Jon Stewart being, from what it said, it was Jon Stewart who is fairly new, and then Hal Jordan is a substitute, like, teacher of sorts to Jon Stewart, and they butt heads and all this stuff. And yeah, I'm just curious about it. I also heard that it's going to be like True Detective, which a show I haven't seen, but from what I understand, it's a mystery show of sorts made by HBO, of course, which, again, probably should get on that soon. I'll get to it, maybe, I don't know, but it's a detective show with Green Lanterns. Yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled that it's set on Earth or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we're dealing with Green Lanterns. They don't want to blow up this budget to be all in space or whatever, and, you know, ideally, I would like to see Lanterns set in space on the big screen, but at the same time, I welcome a surprise. That's all I gotta say. I welcome a surprise, because I'll tell you what, I won't doubt them. I won't doubt them for a second. I have hopes because I like the casting so far, and realistically, it's like when it comes to it, when it's all said and done, it's HBO. Like, HBO is like the gold standard of making prime TV shows. I mean, just look at Peacemaker. I mean, Peacemaker as a whole was really good. I mean, I'll be honest, season 2 was good. Just really felt like the ball was dropped on that season finale for season 2. But other than that, I thought it was really good. But more importantly, look at the Penguin show. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from the Penguin show, honestly. And I really like Matt Reeves as the Batman a lot. I really did. And seeing Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I thought he was really good. But then he was going to give a show, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, okay, the story, the setup sounds really cool. He wants the underground stuff or whatever. And even then, you know, the more I saw, I was like, ooh, this is going to, okay, I'm in it. It's HBO. What could go wrong? Nothing. Absolutely nothing can go wrong, apparently. Because, my God, that show, I mean, I literally own a 4K steelbook of the show because I loved it that fucking much. Like, Sony, if you're gonna make villain movies based on Spider-Man characters, take notes. Like, look at this. Like you can make a villain-centered movie based on Spider-Man characters. I mean, Spider-Man villains, at least, yeah. Like, take notes. Because at the end of the day, the Penguin show was a villain show. Sure, we were rooting for him and what he was doing, but the show has showed you plenty of times that the dude is a bad dude. It doesn't matter who's in his way. I mean, especially what he did to, like, you know, fuck up Sophia's life or whatever. I mean, that show was amazing. Like, oh my God. One of these days I'll have to talk about it, but my God, the Penguin show was not what I was expecting. I mean, expecting as in, like, it is, like, top 3 of my favorite comic book shows of all time. Like, it's insane. Oh my God. But that's what I'm saying. I think with the Lantern show, we're in good hands. I mean, really, it's like HBO just knows how to make a show. I know they had that one mishap with The Weeknd and Lily Depp Rose. I can't remember what that show was called, but that's the only HBO show that I know that, you know, from fans of HBO that they really messed up on. But other than that, HBO has a great track record, and so I don't discount them at all when it comes to this stuff. And it really just depends on who you got that's show running it and what kind of writers you have, because as long as you have that good team, you can make some incredible things. I mean, and again, I definitely don't go into movies and shows with expectations, because I just feel like that just kind of ruins the experience for me if I set these expectations so high or so low, it kind of affects my viewing or whatever. I just want to go into this stuff being a fan, just being like, okay, let's see what they do. Like, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works for me. And if not, oh well. But it's going to be for somebody, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But, yeah, man, I really look forward to this new DCU. I mean, who knows how it's going to really turn out as we get further down the road with this DCU. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I think the most intriguing part is seeing, and I is with my man, my dude Batman. Like, I'm curious about it. I'm very curious about this DCU Batman, because again, if you can have that dynamic kind of be like the way that the Bruce Timm and Alan Burnett DC animated universe, if you can have that chemistry be the same for the movie, yeah, sign me up. With that being said, too, I will say, for anyone wondering, no, I do not want Robert Pattinson as the DCU Batman. It's like, they could do it, they could change their minds, but I'm glad James Gunn is saying, no, we're going to let Matt Reeves do his own thing and not shove that Batman into the DCU and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. But again, James Gunn could change his mind, and I won't be happy. I feel like that would be the second thing I don't like that he's done. The first being the finale for season 2 of Peacemaker. But I just feel like, I wasn't crazy for the Batman, but at the same time, I was also taken away because it was like, man, this Batman movie, like, I'm just surprised what happens when you give it to different creators and what they can come up with. And Matt Reeves certainly came up with something that just felt like, yeah, this is like it's almost like Batman Returns, where it's like, I don't know if you can show a I don't know if you can show, like, you can show a teenager, but I don't think you can show a kid the Batman. Like, I just feel like that's way too dark. Like, you can't really show a kid this because, there's a rotting finger and some dude gets his head, like, beaten from the back of his head. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And then the design of the Riddler, kind of scary looking. Like, there's just so much about that I was just like, it should be separated. Because, yeah, I think that's the one thing that Marvel has done so well, that it's gotten into the fandom and the pop culture where, all comic book stuff, whether it's DC or Marvel, it all should be connected. And I just, I was there when DC movies were not connected and everything was just kind of its own flavor and own thing. And I think that's kind of the beauty of what James Gunn has said so far, is that, yes, we're going to have DCU movies, and then we're going to have, Elseworld movies. I like that. I like that idea. It's just like, yeah, just because you want to have these very different takes on these DC characters, because, we don't have 20th Century Fox anymore, and realistically, it's only Warner Brothers and Sony that will definitely want to try their own flavor on the characters that they own. And yeah, Disney, Marvel, while they did do Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine, sorry, rated R, which was really great. And then, continuing it with Daredevil Born Again. But it is kind of like, it would be very, very interesting to see Disney Plus kind of do a separate thing. Like, it would be interesting if Kevin Feige was like, you know what, why don't we make, like, separate Marvel movies that's not in line with the MCU. Like, I would like to see Kevin Feige put a team together to make a movie that's not in line with the MCU. You know, I would like to see what he would do, because he was there when the first 2000s X-Men movie was made. You know, he was there for that, and so I just wonder if, you know, why not take a shot at that? I mean, I guess that's why you have the TV division, so that you can do that, I guess. But it would be just interesting to see Kevin Feige maybe just like take the chance, just do it for some character to do it. Maybe someone we haven't met, or somebody so obscure that you let somebody take a more different, out there approach than the MCU kind of formula, as you would call it. Because I think that would be really cool, just to see what Marvel would do with it. But who knows? But in any event, with DC and, you know, getting back to the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman. But yeah, that's where I'm at with just keep Robert Pattinson's Batman out of the DCU. Like, give me comic book Batman within the DCU. I mean, because as much as I love Matt Reeves as the Batman, I am kind of over the realistic take on Batman. Like, I want to see Batman take on someone like a Clayface, or like a Mr. Freeze, or a Poison Ivy, or somebody that's a fantastical character. Like, I would like to see those stories. Like, essentially just give me a live action Batman the Animated Series movie. Like, give me something to that effect. I don't know, but so far I think we are going to get a DCU Batman that's not Robert Pattinson, and whoever that may be, I look forward to it, honestly. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the DCU with James Gunn and Peter Safran running it. That's how I feel about it. And you know what? I'll just say it. I really like Superman. Again, I'll get into it when I make another podcast episode. But in any event, so let's talk about the last thing I want to talk about, which is, so I just watched a movie. I literally just finished, before I recorded this, I literally just finished Rian Johnson's Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, the third movie of this Knives Out trilogy. And let me just say, I was a fan of the first movie. I really loved it. It's really, these movies really are great. The thing that really like holds them up is just the way that he assembles this ensemble cast and how he utilizes everybody in them in some way or another. Like, everybody feels like they're given enough time and whatnot. He did that with Knives Out. He did that with Glass Onion, the second movie. And this movie, I really fucking liked it a lot. I will say it's not my favorite, but damn, it's damn near close to being my favorite of the three, because for this time's sake, it's centered around faith. Like, so, little backstory. I wasn't raised religious in any sense, but as I consume the arts and the movies and the comics or whatever, hell, I'll say it to get a better reference. One of my favorite characters is Daredevil, and one of the things I love about Daredevil, and specifically Netflix's Daredevil with season 3, is I love anything that's dealt with his Catholic guilt. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I like. That's the thing I like, seeing characters being challenged by, you know, dealing with their faith and, you know, why they come to faith with religion and all that stuff. I love stories like that. I love character complexities when they're dealing with their faith, whether they've been a believer for so long or whether they're new. And Wake Up Dead Man stars a character who is a newly who's a new priest who gets assigned to go to this other church, and let's just say he doesn't agree with this other priest that he has to work with, starring Josh Brolin, and sure enough, he's the one that gets killed. I just gotta say, I really like this movie a lot because, again, as someone who wasn't raised religiously or anything, I love these stories, and it was really nice to see Rian Johnson kind of tackle it in the sense of, like, people who preach religion, some people do it wrong. Some do it for the wrong reasons and all this stuff. But then you got someone like our main character, and I think it's Chu, I should have pulled up the cast, but essentially the main actor that's playing our main character, he wants to actually spread the right gospel by not putting out the fear and hate and all this stuff. And I really enjoyed it, man. I really did. And sure enough, I called who it was all along. Sure enough, I was called who it was all along. But man, the one thing I love about these movies, it's just kind of like how they reveal it all. And I'm just like, I love it. I love how it all breaks down. And it's like, yeah, one or two things kind of don't make sense, but like at the same time, it could happen. It totally could have happened this way. I mean, but for the most part, it was pretty believable about how it was pulled off. But still, I'm just like, my God. I really, and again, the great thing about these movies is the ensemble cast. And man, everybody was on their game. And just the way that Rian Johnson has wrote this, and it's not only are they funny, but this one, I tend to agree with the reviews that I saw that people say it's a little bit darker, and it is a little bit darker, and my God, it was just so well done. Rian Johnson does it once again. Spoilers, this won't be on my top 10 as much as I loved it. I just thought it was really, really good. Like, I honestly hope that Rian Johnson, can pull, a James Cameron, where it seems like James Cameron just wants to stay in Avatar land or whatever. I hope, I would not be upset if Rian Johnson just wanted to stay in the Benoit Block, Knives Out universe and just keep making more mysteries. Like, just do it. Now that, his deal with Netflix is done, I'm hoping a movie studio will buy the rights or something. I don't know if Rian Johnson owns the rights to Knives Out, the IP anymore or whatever, but I just know that I remember they paid like $400 million. They paid Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig $400 million to make 2 sequels to the first movie, and I just gotta say, hey, I'm happy for Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I was looking forward to seeing these on the big screen, and because man, these look so good. They look so good. But yeah, I really did like that it was faith-based, and Daniel Craig is just really, really good, because if you remember in the previous movie, yeah, he's a gay man, and so coming into this, and even he kind of looks at all this as kind of bullshit or whatever, and even by the end, when he's offered to come to the what's it called, the reopening of the church after it's all said and done at the end, he's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm just like, it's just so good. Like, at the same time, there is that kind of like, you get this feeling that Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, kind of has this moment where he kind of steps back and he's just kind of like, maybe, because the whole time he's like, oh, it's just all storytelling and stuff like that, and I'm just like, it's so well written, and these characters, man, they I don't know how Rian Johnson does it, but I think he did it once again with this movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think if I were to rank all three of the movies, I want to say, yeah, Glass Onion, Wake Up Dead Man, and Knives Out, but, the more I think about that, the more I'm like, nah, I think I really need to one day just sit down and watch them all back to back. I mean, that does sound like a good trilogy to do, honestly. Oh my god, if Netflix puts out a physical media of all three movies, specifically 4K steelbooks, yeah, I think I'm gonna buy them, because these are just such fun movies, and once again, Rian Johnson is just definitely one of my favorite directors ever directing. I mean, I applaud. I mean, I encourage anybody that hasn't seen Looper to go watch fucking Looper. It is one of the best, smaller budget, mid-budget, best sci-fi movies of the 2010s. Like that movie's just amazing. And his work on Breaking Bad, and then I think Rian Johnson's just like one of my favorite creatives. Like, he's one of my favorite writers, directors. Like, he's just so, I really enjoy his stuff. I look forward to the day where I find the one thing that I didn't like by him, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because so far, to me, his filmography, I really like. I really dig his filmography a lot, and like I said, if any movie studio wants to buy out the rights to Knives Out from Netflix, please do, because man, I would not be disappointed to see more, because man, and I think Daniel Craig would love it too. Because his performance in here just doesn't miss a beat. He seems to really love playing this character, and I'm all for it. His little quirks and stuff like that, I just really dug it a lot. But yeah, it's definitely leads into the faith stuff, and yeah, especially given how people today use their faith to really use against other people or whatever, instead of welcoming them into the church or whatever. It just feels like this is a good message, and by the end of it, it's just like you root for your main character. I mean, you root for him and everything, because why he became a priest is so good. I mean, why does anybody come to religion? To start anew, to look for some sort of guidance or something. People come to religion for different reasons, and I'm here for it. I mean, I'm someone who's agnostic, but I don't fault for anybody that loves, that really get into religion. I mean, I'm just not a fan of those that really try to preach at you, that want to try to, squeeze their, just hound you over and over and over again to, hey, you should join the church, all this stuff. And it's I think at the end of the day, you just have to let people decide on their own. You can't berate them and all this stuff for their life choices, and then just, say, hey, if you just come join my religion or whatever, because, the way you're going, it's not so good and all this stuff. And yeah, man, it was really good to see a faith-based movie, not a faith-based movie, but a movie that deals with faith and have a character who's no, the way that you're preaching is not the way that I think we should. We shouldn't be using our fists to convince someone to come to the church. You have to welcome them with open arms. And I'm just that, yes, that is how you do it, I feel. But yeah, man, if you haven't seen Rian Johnson's Dead Men Wake Up and you've seen the other two, definitely give this a watch. I mean, hell, you don't, and that's the great thing about these movies. You don't really have to see the previous other two to get what's going on. It's like, no, man, it's just another mystery movie. It just so happens to star this Benoit Blanc character. And again, written so well, performed so well, and man, it just looks so nice too. Looks so nice. But yeah, I totally give Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, a thumbs up. Really enjoyed the fuck out of it, especially, knowing who was behind it. I was like, I just knew it, because how would it not be that person? How would it not be that person? So, yeah, that's me gushing over Rian Johnson's Wake Up Dead Man. Definitely give it a watch. All right, I've been going at this for an hour or so plus, and I'm gonna call it a night, because it is 2:36 a.m. and yeah, I need some sleep. Gotta get up and work in the morning. So thank you for listening. Anybody that just listens to this or anything, really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm glad I could talk your ear off about stuff that I talked about today. Definitely come back if you would, if you want. It's all based on you. You can come back, because the next time I do this, it's probably gonna be, because the holidays Christmas is 10 days away. So yeah, definitely come back. Definitely gonna give you my top 10 best and worst of the year for sure. Look forward to that. Come back, see where Superman lands on my list. So, but yeah, thank you again. Thank you for coming to my podcast. Man, I don't even remember how do I exit the show with this. Any event, something like that. Anyways, so, but yeah, I'm gonna get going. Hopefully you all have a good day. So that's Spoil Your Appetite for this week. I'm Tristan, and you've just been spoiled.